Hi, my name's Anna Golding. I'm here with Fingerprint Dance for today's gentle creative movement session. Thanks for joining us, I hope you enjoy it. Before we start, I just want to make sure that you have a comfortable space to be moving in. So if you can, stretch your arms out to the sides and in front and behind you and above. And then just do a kind of swivel to make sure that that's a clear space so that you don't knock into anything when you're moving your arms. Likewise your feet and your legs, if you just have a little gentle kick, make sure that you're not going to knock into anything when you're moving. Obviously work with where you are on your body today. If your arms start to get tired, then just turn the volume of the movements down a little bit so that they are more gentle. If we're working with our whole arms, if I'm working with my whole arms, you might just work with your fingers, which is really beautiful as well. So you will make the movements as big or as small as is right for you today. Okay, the other thing is that I'm going to move between standing and seated. You might be seated all the way through, which is brilliant. So just adapt my instructions to whether you're standing or seated in that moment, and I'll try to be as fluid as I can be. Obviously, when you're seated, it's important to be careful with your balance. If you're rocking side to side, just make sure that you're fully supported by the chair. You might have arms on your chair, which will affect the amount of movement that you have side to side. It can be better to work on a chair with no arms because it gives you a bit more freedom of movement. But obviously then you don't have the full support of the chair. So just work with where you are based today, standing or seated. And equally standing, if we're shifting our balance from side to side, if my legs actually come off the floor and that doesn't feel right for you, then just a very gentle shift side to side. So taking a weight onto one leg than the other leg is great. So I think we're ready to begin. Let's find a comfortable space, and we're going to start with our feet, our toes pointing forwards, which we call parallel. Likewise if you're seated, with a soft bend in your knees, and we're just going to think about the different qualities in our body. So our bodies have softness to them, our muscles, maybe explore your arms just while we're talking. There's a softness through your arms, different parts of you are soft. So we call this a soft body, and the soft body is supported by your skeleton, your hard body. So that's the structure. It's a bit like the wood and the timber and the bricks and the foundations in a building. So just explore a few of those points of solid structure in your body, the skeleton, and how they work together all the time, whether you're awake or asleep. But perhaps when we're dancing, we become a bit more aware of it. There's the movements through our body of water and blood, different liquids move around our body, and as we move, they begin to move too. It helps them to kind of wake up. And as we move, your body likes that and it starts to oil all the joints. So if you spend a long time lying or sitting, driving or at a desk or in a chair watching TV, if you're sitting in one position for a long time, your body can kind of get locked. So movement, even small movements, Small rotations of the joints can help to oil the joints and help them to be healthy, really. Great. Very good. Okay, so let's start with warming up. So I'm going to start standing, I'll move to seated, but obviously you'll either be standing or seated as is right for you. So, let's start with our breathing. Breath, which is our life force, taking in clean oxygen and breathing out used air. Let's imagine that we're filling up our body all the way to the tiny hidden little corners, in between your fingers and toes, behind your ears, the back of your neck. When you breathe in, reaching all of those spaces with your clean air, bringing life and energy into your body. And then breathing out the air that you've used, making space for the next breath. So let's just spend a little bit of time breathing together, thinking about your breath reaching into each part of your body, breathing you alive and awake, giving you some energy for the next half an hour or so. Well done. One more big one. Great. Coming back to normal breathing now. Another really important part of our bodies is the nerve endings, the sensation across your skin that takes information to your brain. So soft touch. Let's start with soft touch. So just with your own hand, travelling across the surface of your arms, the palms of your hands. Each part of your body feels different. How does it feel at the back of your neck if you stroke your skin there? Does it feel tingly? Let's gently, very gently across the front of your neck, down across your heart and around your tummy. This part of your body holds all the important kind of engines, really, or we call them your vital organs. So your heart, your kidneys, round behind you. Everything that makes your food processing in your body, your digestive system work well. Your body works really hard for you. And across the front of your pelvis, in front of your hips. Well done. And down and into your legs. I'm going to move to seated. You can obviously stay standing if that's right for you. And we're just going to take some circles with our heads. Just to use the weight of the head. The head is a really, really heavy part of your body. So if you have a tired neck, it can really help to use the weight of your head, drawing circles in the air, to ease out any tension. And the same with your shoulders. We carry lots of tension in our shoulders. So just gentle circles either side. Doesn't matter which one's going first. And coming the other way. Great, well done. Let's finish off with drawing circles with our legs. Easier if you're sitting down. If you're standing up, you might want to hold on to a chair or a mantelpiece or banisters of stairs, just to give you a bit of support and security. Make sure that you're stable. And circles the other way. So I'm circling in my knees and my ankles. Let's go with the other leg. Hopefully you're feeling nice and warm now and ready to be creative. Well done. See you in a minute. So we're going to move on to the creative part of today's session, and we're going to be considering views, what we can see. So we're going to you need to find a window that you can look out of. There's probably a window in your room where you are working at the moment. I think probably we're all inside. And you're going to be looking out of your view for this part of today, for your creative dance. Your view might be a busy street, it might be a quiet garden, it might be your backyard. It doesn't matter, it's fine. All views are interesting. We are going to think about the parts of we're going to divide our view up into sections. So we're going to think about the part of your view that is nearest to you. So just spend a moment looking out at what you can see. The parts of my view that are closest to me, I'm looking out onto my street, are in my front garden. I can see quite a thick bush, a dark green bush, with little red flowers hanging down. And then I can see long grasses next to that with kind of dangly seed pods on the end of each stem. And then just next to that, peeking round the side of the window, are some heavy red roses full of rain. It's a rainy day today. So red roses just peeping round the corner. And then we go to the middle distance. So I can see very hard things, cold silvery blue metal at the top of a car, and a red brick wall, really lovely strong straight lines dividing up the view. And I can see a long street light, a metal street light. So can you remember in the warm-up we talked about the different parts of our body that were soft, where our muscles are, the soft tissue part of our body, and the hard part of our body, the skeleton, the bones, that's kind of like the building, the structure that all the softness hangs on. Much the same as outside. Probably you can see softness in things that are growing and harder surfaces that are probably man-made, unless it's a tree trunk, of course. So solid, although there's a softness to tree trunks, I would argue. Solid and soft. So we have the farthest away thing that you can see. What can you see? I always really like the line of a horizon. It's always interesting, whatever you're looking at. I'm looking at the front of my house, but actually at the back of my house I have a really lovely horizon. It's an old rope making factory, Victorian rope making factory, and the roofs are kind of in funny uneven triangles all the way along that the seagulls like to sit on. That's not the view that I'm looking at now. The furthest away part of my view today is a mixture of roofs, triangular roofs, and I can see the tops of a horse chestnut tree and an ash tree in the distance, and they might actually be maybe like an oak tree possibly next to it, and I can see the light through the shapes of the leaves. So different textures there. So let's find the movement in our bodies that paints the picture of the things that we can see out of our window. I was starting to do it already. You can either mirror me and me painting my view, or you can paint your own view, which would be really great. So this is my dark green bush and the long grasses and the roses peeking around the corner and the metal roof of the car and the brick red wall and the tall metal lamppost I can't see the top of, and then moving into the distance, perhaps a different hand for each type of tree, and then the last roof. And then I'm going to add in the rain. It's a spring rain today. Great. I'm going to move to seated and join those of you that are sitting down, but you may stay standing. And we're going to go back through our dance, and we're going to start to develop the movements, but also we're going to bring in our senses. We're going to think about how it might feel to actually push your hands inside of the dark green leaves, or run your fingers along the grass stems, smell the roses. What might the metal of the car feel like if you touched it? And if you ran your fingers across the red bricks, how would they feel? How would it be to touch the metal of the lamppost? And then most excitingly of all, I'm going to give you the power of flight, and you're going to go up to the horizon, leave the ground, and just imagine what it feels like to perhaps stand on a roof. If it's a hot day, feeling the warmth of the sun through the tiles, or the wet slippiness if it's a rainy day. And the tops of the trees, which we never get to touch, will be up with. So you're going to imagine how will that feel, and while you're drawing the tops of the trees and the shapes of the trees, how would it feel to touch them? As I've said, it's a rainy day today after lots of weeks of no rain, so I imagine all the leaves, everything green is drinking up and soaking up all the rain, because they're in the new growth part of their life cycle. And then I finish with the last bit of roof, and then the rain coming down. So those descriptive words that will come as you're working through your dance, you might just hold them in your head, or say them very quietly, or say them, sing them. It might be that after the session you remember the sensation of your window view dance, and it moves on into a poem, which would be wonderful. So we're going to start together. We're going to go through our window view dance, and as I say, you can shadow me, you can mirror me, or you can work with your own view, which we're going to draw the outside of, so we have our frame. Good. So moving on to what you can see in the view closest to you. Dark, dense green, drops of red, long, elegant stems, drooping seeds, dripping raindrops, peeking red roses, moving into the middle, cold metal roof, silver blue lines. Rough red brick dividing. And tall grey metal nighttime light. Honeystone far away. Grey shiny slate. Horse chestnut. Creamy flowers. Helicopter ash. Spiky pine. Chimney roofs. And spring rain. Good. Well done. We're going to finish today's session with all of us seated. So if you are still standing, if you can find somewhere comfortable to sit. And allow yourself to be supported by the chair. Just leaning back into the seat. Great. And just feel through the back of your body, through your back, through your the tops of your legs, through your pelvis, backs of your knees possibly, maybe if you've got a head support, the back of your head. Just let that sensation allow you or encourage you to think about the back plane of your body. We're often very concerned with everything that happens to the front, and it's the front that we show to the world, but the back of us exists too and is as important. So just have a moment just to think about the back of your body. Good, well done. And we're going to just bring legs together gently so that you're thinking about right angles, which is a really good way, it's a healthy way, and it's a position that your body likes, to think about right angles. So right angle at this joint, and a right angle at the knees, and again at the ankles, at the toes. So finding a comfortable, relaxed position, but thinking about those 3 different angle points in your hips and your legs and your feet. Great. And we're going to take the heel of our hands, tuck them into our hips. I'm just going to push into our legs and lift our eyes up to the ceiling, and then relax forwards. And again, pushing and lifting away. And pushing and lifting. And now we're going to start to roll down. So using the support of our hands against our legs to take us, just go as far as is comfortable to roll down and roll back up again. Pushing into our lift. Relaxing the hands, letting them slide down across the legs. Pushing against the legs. One more time, sliding down, rolling. So thinking about leading with the top of your head, rolling down through your back. Great. And keeping this support, bracing your hands against your legs or holding onto your chair arms or your chair, just looking over one shoulder. Just finding a spiral in your back and the other shoulder. And again, over one shoulder. And the other shoulder. Good. Well done. Let's just take our hands over our centres. And finish as we began, breathing into the palms of your hands, filling the inside of your body, thinking about all the corners that have hopefully woken up a little bit with your dancing today. Just rewarding your body with clean, energizing air, oxygen, breathing in and out, and in and out. One more time, breathing in and out. Good. And you're just going to finish off by thinking about a part of your body that worked particularly hard today or made a particularly lovely movement that you liked, and you're just going to reward it by giving a bit of a massage, a self-massage. Maybe think of another part of you that you feel deserves a little bit of care and attention. Well done. And we're going to finish off by stretching the fingertips wide and giving the air a big hug, closing the arms across yourself. Give yourself a hug. Well done. And finishing by lifting the arms up and out and relaxing. Great. Well done, everybody. Lovely dancing with you today. Stay safe and well. See you next time.